Okay, guys, now let's go through the 11th question. So the 11th question is the animals that showed first sign of cephalization. So let me give you a small explanation about what cephalization is. So cephalization is the evolutionary mechanism where animals started to have the nervous system, the sensory organs such as the eyes and the mouth on the anterior part, the head part of the body. Just like we humans have now, we have all our sensory organs in the face. So that's what basically cephalization is. And one of the most important thing to understand is that to show cephalization, an animal should have bilateral symmetry. So as shown in the figure, to have bilateral symmetry means the left side should be the same as the right side, just like a mirror image. So that's what bilateral symmetry is. So one of the first animals to show bilateral symmetry is platyhelminths. So they showed the first signs of cephalization. So I'll write that here, platyhelminths. Okay. Okay. So here they have given five features. So only one of the features belong to platyhelminths. So let's see what that feature is. So first answer they say they bear a central nervous system. Yes, platyhelminths do have a central nervous system on the anterior part, the head part. That's why they show cephalization. So first answer is correct. So let me highlight it. Then let's go through the second answer, have joint legs. So having legs is one of the features of more advanced animals, like arthropods. So platyhelminths, worms, they don't have joint legs. So we can eliminate that answer. Then coelomic. So uh, coelomic means having a body cavity. So platyhelminths doesn't have a body cavity, so we can eliminate that answer again. Then fourth one are radially symmetrical. So as I said earlier, to show cephalization, an animal should have bilateral symmetry. So platyhelminths show bilateral symmetry, not radial symmetry. So we can eliminate that answer again. And the last one, bear a muscular foot. So having muscular foot is one of the main features of mollusks. So again, we can eliminate that answer. So first one is the right answer. Platyhelminths does have a central nervous system. So let's go to the 12th question. So some types of plant cells and their functions are given below. So they have given four types of cells and four functions. So to understand these cells, parenchyma cell, collenchyma cells, and parenchyma cells. So these cells belong to the ground tissue system. So ground tissue system have these three types of cells and they have different functions. So let's take a look at those functions. So sclerenchyma cells has two type of cells, scleroids and fibers. Let me write it. Fibers. So scleroids and fibers are modified in a way to provide support and strength to the plant. So the function of A is P, so which is providing support. So let me draw an arrow to that. Okay. So then let's take a look at collenchyma cells. So collenchyma cells also provide flexible support to the plant, which means when the plant grows, it it can sometimes bend and grow, right? So even when it bends, collenchyma cells can provide support without breaking them down. So again, collenchyma cells also provide support, which goes to P, providing support. So these two cells have the same function, providing support. So tracheids, so as we know, tracheids is a part of the xylem vessels. So xylem vessels are usually involved in conducting water. So tracheids, the function is transporting water. Okay, then we'll again match it. So the last cell is parenchyma cells. So if you take parenchyma cells, they do have like more functions than the other two types of cells. So one of the function is storage of plants. They contain something called plastids on their roots, which allow them to store starch. And they are also involved in wound repair. So we'll mark that also. So parenchyma cells and collenchyma cells, they provide support. And tracheids, they're involved in transporting of water. And parenchyma cells, they have two functions, storage of starch and wound repair. So let's see the answer. First answer has A and Q. So parenchyma cell doesn't transport water, so we can eliminate that answer. And the second answer, A goes with P, so parenchyma cells do provide support, which is correct. Then B goes with R, collenchyma cell storage of starch, no, right? It's parenchyma cells which uh, usually stores starch. So then we can eliminate the first two answers. Then let's go to the third answer. So again, it goes with A and P. Parenchyma cells provide support, yes. B and P, parenchyma cells also provide support, yes, which is correct. Then CQ, tracheids, yes, they transport water, which is correct. Then finally, D and R. So even though D has two functions, storage of starch and wound repair, here they have D and R. So parenchyma cell storage of starch, which is correct. So this is the right answer, and I'll highlight it. So again, I'll go to the fourth and the fifth answers. Anyways, so A, which goes with R, so parenchyma cells doesn't store starch, so we can eliminate that answer. Again, fifth one, A goes with Q, so parenchyma cell doesn't transport water, so it's the function of tracheids. So third one is the right answer. So let's go to the next question. So the 13th question is, which of the following statements which of the following statements regarding plant meristems is correct? Okay, let me give you a small explanation about what meristems are. So, meristems are undifferentiated plant cells which only undergo differentiation under suitable conditions. So, just like stem cells in humans, which gives rise to certain organs and tissues in the body, plant meristems gives rise to different parts of the plant. So if you take plant meristems, there are three types: apical meristem, lateral meristem, and intercalary meristem. So the first answer says lateral meristem and apical meristem are involved in secondary growth. So first take a look at apical meristem. So apical meristem are usually involved in the elongation of roots and shoots. So apical meristems are present in the roots and the shoots. So in the roots, they allow the roots to grow deeper. So like this, it grows deeper. And it also allows the shoots to grow taller, which is called the primary growth. And so that's the function of apical meristem. Then we have lateral meristem. So lateral meristem are usually involved in secondary growth. So secondary growth means increase in the circumference of the stem, which makes the plant thicker and thicker as it grows. So maybe this is the, sorry, I may make it dark so it will be very clear. So this is the circumference now. Maybe in a year or two, this should be the circumference because the plant will grow thicker and thicker, which is called secondary growth. So here the answer says lateral meristem and apical meristem are involved in secondary growth. So we know only lateral meristem are involved in secondary growth, and apical meristem are only involved in primary growth, which is the elongation of roots and shoots. So we can eliminate that answer. So the second answer is shoot apical meristem produces new cells both inwards and outwards. So as I showed earlier, this is the shoot apical meristems. So the function of the shoot apical meristems is to grow the shoot so that the plant will be more taller. So it should only grow uh, upwards, right? Upwards and outwards, which makes sense, right? So shoot apical meristems provide cells only outwards, not inwards. So we can eliminate that answer. And the third answer is recovery of broken leaves of monocots occur due to action of lateral meristem. So as I said earlier, lateral meristem is involved in secondary growth. So It's intercalary meristem. Intercalary meristem are usually involved in the recovery of leaves. So again, the third answer is wrong, so we can eliminate it. So it should be either fourth one or the fifth one. So let's take a look at the fourth answer. So lateral meristem contributes to the formation of peridot. So if we take lateral meristems are two types: cork cambium and vesicle cambium. So this cork cambium produces something called periderm, which replaces the epidermis during secondary growth to make the plant more stronger. So, which is correct? Lateral meristem contributes to the formation of periderm. Yes, it is the function of cork cambium. So we can mark the correct answer. Okay. Okay, I'll mark it. So, anyways, let's take a look at the fifth answer. They say meristems are always active. So, in the resource book, they have given certain features of meristems. So, one of the features is meristems are dormant sometimes. So, they have a dormancy period, which means they only grow at suitable condition. So, they are not always active, they are inactive in that dormancy period. So, fifth one is wrong, we can eliminate it. So, fourth one is the right answer. So, let's go to the next question. Okay. Select the correct statement regarding water loss in plants. Okay, this is about transpiration. So first one, they say guttation occurs throughout the day. So let me give a small explanation about what guttation is. So guttation is the process where water is lost through the plants, through the leaves as droplets when transpiration is low or when transpiration doesn't take place. So they say guttation occurs throughout the day. Is it true? So guttation only happens when transpiration rate is low. So transpiration rate is low when the stomata are closed. So when are the stomata closed? So stomata are closed usually on night. So there's a very high possibility guttation takes place only at night. So we can remove the first answer because they say guttation occurs throughout the day, which is wrong. The second answer, they say transpiration rate is high when relative humidity is high. So as we know, transpiration is the loss of water as water vapor through diffusion. So we have learned in chemistry diffusion occurs from high concentration to low concentration. So when it comes to this, it occurs from high water potential to low water potential. So when relative humidity is high, there is a very high water potential in the surrounding air and low water potential in the plant. So the transpiration rate is very low because water doesn't move from low water potential to high water potential. It's always the opposite way. So transpiration is low when relative humidity is high. So we can again eliminate that answer. So the third answer says about 50% of water is lost in plants due to stomatal transpiration. So we know that most of transpiration occurs through the stomata. Through the stomata, water vapor leaves the plant. So 95% of transpiration occurs through stomata. So again, we can eliminate that answer. So the fourth answer says water loss decreases due to increase in turgor in gut cells. So guard cells open when the turgor increases. So turgor increases when the water enters the guard cells. So guard cells open and the turgor increases. So when guard cells open, transpiration rate increases because more water vapor leaves the plant. So water loss is very high when there is turgor in guard cells. Here they say water loss decreases, which is again wrong. So we can eliminate this answer too. So we have eliminated the first four answers, so it should be the fifth answer. Anyways, let's take a look at it. So root pressure is needed for guttation. Okay. Guttation occurs when transpiration doesn't happen. When transpiration doesn't happen, there is no way to water to leave the plant. So water keeps accumulating through the roots, but it has no way to leave the plant. So the pressure in the root builds up, which causes the water to be pulled into the leaves. So in the leaves, it leaves has water droplets from structures called hydrothotes. So root pressure is needed for guttation, which is correct. So I'll highlight it. Okay, guys, now let's go to the 15th question. So deficiency of which of the following elements causes sclerosis, poor growth, and death of leaf tips in plants respectively? Okay, so something I have noticed a trend is that a question based on deficiency and elements has been on the biology past papers the last 5 years. So you can expect a question on this next year. So try to remember the table. So if you can't by heart it, try to remember it visually because there are certain trends in that table. If you take the first three elements, it causes poor growth. Then the most of the elements in the middle, they cause sclerosis, and the elements, the two elements in the bottom, they cause death of leaf and shoot tips. So in that way, it's easy to remember. Now let's go to the question. So I'll write down all the elements that cause sclerosis, poor growth, and death of leaf tips. So it's easy to answer this question. Okay, I'll start with sclerosis. So, all the elements that cause sclerosis are acidic molybdenum, right? Then we have magnesium, then like, sulfur, oxygen, nitrogen, then iron, then also manganese also causes sclerosis. Then poor growth. Okay, when it comes to poor growth, the top three elements in the table causes poor growth. So the top three elements are hydrogen, oxygen, and carbon. So always remember hydrogen, oxygen, and carbon causes poor growth. Then when it comes to death of leaf tips, mm, we have molybdenum and nickel. Okay. So the first answer says magnesium causes sclerosis. Yes, which is correct. Then carbon causes poor growth, which is also correct. Then boron causes death of leaf tips in plants. Okay. So we know only molybdenum and nickel causes death of leaf tips, and boron has nothing to do with it. So the function of boron is usually the death of meristem, not leaf tips. So I'll write that. Try to remember this. The function of boron is death of meristems. So then we have sulfur, oxygen, and nickel. Sulfur causes sclerosis, correct. Oxygen, poor growth, which is correct. And nickel also causes death of leaf tips. So this is the right answer. So I'll highlight it. In third answer, they say nitrogen causes sclerosis, correct. Hydrogen causes poor growth, which is also correct. But chlorine has nothing to do with death of leaf tips. So we can eliminate that answer. Then fourth one, we have molybdenum. Yeah, okay, yes, molybdenum causes sclerosis. Then calcium. So calcium has nothing to do with poor growth. It's always hydrogen, carbon, and oxygen. So we can eliminate the fourth answer too. Then the final answer says phosphorus causes sclerosis. So phosphorus has nothing to do with sclerosis again. And boron has nothing to do with poor growth. And nickel causes death of leaf tips. But unfortunately, the first two answers are wrong. So I have to eliminate that answer too. So second one is the right answer. So now let's move on to the 16th question. Okay. The eight nuclei in mature embryo sacs of angiosperms are contained within. Okay. So this is a diagram I added so that it will be very easier to explain to you guys. So this is a diagram of the embryo sac and all the cells present inside the embryo sac. So if you take the embryo sac, there are 7 cells inside the embryo sac and 8 nuclei. So I'll start to mark it. So here there are 3 nuclei. So let's mark it. It is the antibodal cells. So there are 3 antibodal cells. Bodal cells. Then here This is where most of the students make the mistake. So here this is two polar nuclei, not two central cells. Always remember, there is only one central cell in plants, in embryo cell. But within that one central cell, there are two polar nuclei. So always try to remember that because most students confuse it with having two central cells, but it is wrong. Then here we have two synergids. Let's mark it. Then in the middle, we have an egg. Now let's answer the question. So if you can, if you have a notebook or something, just draw this diagram and mark it. I'll ensure that it will be really helpful for your exams. So first answer this is three antipodal cells, which is correct. Then two central cells, which is wrong. Only one central cell. So we can eliminate the first answer because it is wrong. So second answer, three antipodal cells. Yeah, correct. Three central cell. Again wrong, right? It has only one central cell. So we can eliminate the second answer too. Then third answer says three antipodal cells. Yes, correct. One central cell. Yes, again correct. One central cell. Within that one central cell, we have two polar nuclei. Then two synergids. Yes, correct. And one egg. So third one is the right answer, and I'll highlight it. Okay. So when it comes to fourth one, again three antipodal cells. Correct. Central cell. Correct. Three synergids. No, right? Embryo has two synergids, so I'll eliminate that answer. Then the final answer, three antipodal cells, yeah, correct again. Two central cells, no, it has one central cell. So I'll eliminate that answer though. So the correct answer is the third one. Three antipodal cell, one central cell, two synergists, and one egg. So I'll go to the 17th question now. Okay. Which of the following plant hormones stimulate seed germination? So seed germination is where a new plant grows from an existing seed. So they have given four hormones that are involved in growth of the plant. So first one is cytokinin. So if you take cytokinin, cytokinin is mainly involved in differentiation and division of cells. So they contribute to seed germination, which is correct. So I'll highlight it. Yes, sorry. Okay. Okay. So second one, they say abscisic acid. So if you know abscisic acid has the opposite effect of germination. They usually cause seed dormancy. So we can eliminate that answer because it doesn't cause seed germination. Then third one, we have auxins. So if you take auxins, the usual functions of auxins include enhancing phototrophism, gravitrophism, then elongation of roots and shoots, and they do not directly contribute to seed germination, even though they contribute to the growth of the plant. So we can eliminate C1. Then if we take gibberellins, okay. So gibberellins is one of the main hormones that brings the plant out of dormancy. So it has a direct effect in stimulating seed germination because it has enzymes that causes the seed to come out of dormancy. So I'll highlight it, which is another correct answer. So the correct answers are A and D. So the second one has the correct answers. I'll highlight it. Okay, one other thing I wanted to say is that in the future, what if they give the same question and the same answers, but say you to select only one hormone, which one you are going to choose, cytokinin or gibberellins? Because both of them stimulate seed germination, right? So in that case, always remember, gibberellins are the main hormone that causes seed germination using its enzyme because it brings the seed out of dormancy and causes it to germinate. But cytokines does not like directly causes seed germination. It causes other things which leads to seed germination. So in that case, always choose gibberellin over cytokinins when it comes to seed germination. So let's go to the next question. Okay. So the 18th question tells which of the following statements regarding the structure associated with tissues that provide support in animals are correct. So let me give you a small context about animal tissue. So animal tissues are four types: epithelial tissue, connective tissue, nervous tissue, and muscle tissue. So the question is about connective tissue because connective tissue contains cartilages. So cartilage is made up of chondrocytes. So these chondrocytes, they say chondrocytes secrete collagen fibers. So chondrocyte secretes two substances. So one is a chondroitin sulfate, chondroitin sulfate, and the other one is collagen fibers. So these two helps in flexible support and in shock absorption between the joints. So I'll write it down, collagen fibers. Okay. So chondrocyte secrete collagen fibers, yes, which is correct. So I'll highlight it. Second one, osteocytes are bone forming cells. We all know osteoblast is the bone forming cell. Osteocytes are the mature bone cells that maintain the bone tissue. So always remember osteoblast are the bone forming cells. So this is wrong. So we can eliminate the B answer. Then third one, they say osteons are the repeating units of mammalian heart bone. So if you remember, osteons are the main structural and the functional unit of the mammalian heart bone. So they are the repeating units, which is correct. So I'll highlight it. So the correct answer is A and C. So it's the third one. So I'll highlight it. So let's go to the 19th question. Okay. Some organs in the human digestive system, yes, mouth, stomach, and small intestine. Enzymes associated with digestion, then they have given enzymes, pepsin, amylase, and lipase, and their substrate. On which of these enzymes act are given below. Okay. Polysaccharides, lipids, and proteins. Okay. So if you take the mouth has salivary glands. So the salivary glands produce saliva. Saliva contains salivary amylase, which usually breaks down polysaccharide. So when it comes to the stomach has hydrochloric acid. So hydrochloric acid usually activates pepsin. So pepsin is a enzyme that breaks down protein. So in third one, small intestine. In the small intestine, we have all the enzymes that break down carbohydrates, fats, and lipids. So try to remember that. So let's go to the answers. So select the correct combination. Okay, A, D, and I. So mouth and the cause enzyme pepsin. So as I said, mouth only has salivary amylase and not pepsin. Pepsin is only present in the stomach. So we can eliminate the first answer. Then second one, B, stomach, E, amylase. So stomach does not produce amylase. So the only enzyme that is produced in the stomach is pepsin. So we can again eliminate the second answer. Then third one, B, FNH. So stomach, F, lipase. So again, stomach doesn't produce lipase. And so we can eliminate that answer. Then the fourth one, C, D, and I. So most of the students might think the fourth one is the answer because, as I said earlier, small intestine do break down all the nutritions like carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. So we might think, okay, small intestine, yes, pepsin breaks down proteins, but we have to understand, even though pepsin breaks down proteins, pepsin is only present in the stomach. So the enzymes that usually break down proteins in the small intestine is trypsin and chymotrypsin. It is not pepsin. So we can eliminate the fourth answer. And the fifth one, C, E, and G, C, small intestine, yes. So small intestine produces amylase. It is usually called pancreatic amylase because it is produced by the pancreas. And G, yes, polysaccharides, yes, amylase do break down polysaccharides. So fifth one is the correct answer. So I'll highlight it. So let's go to the 20th question. Okay. Select the correct statement regarding vitamins. So when it comes to vitamins, there are two types. Let me write it down first. Water soluble vitamins and fat soluble vitamins. So the usual, sorry, water soluble. So usual water soluble vitamins are vitamin B, vitamin B and vitamin C. And the fat soluble vitamins are vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, and vitamin K. Okay. So they say all antioxidants are water soluble vitamins. So the only two vitamins that act as antioxidants are vitamin E and vitamin K. Sorry, vitamin E and vitamin C. So vitamin E is fat soluble and vitamin C is water soluble. So not all antioxidants are water soluble vitamins, so we can eliminate this answer. And the second answer, they say vitamin A deficiency reduces immunity. So vitamin A usually keeps the mucous membrane and the skin healthy, and vitamin A also produces immune cells, so which increases immunity. So vitamin A deficiency reduces immunity, so this is the correct answer. So I'll highlight it. Okay. Okay, I'll also write it down. Uh, Vitamin A immunity. So vitamin E helps in the absorption of phosphorus. So when it comes to phosphorus and calcium, they are always related with vitamin D, not vitamin E. So vitamin D is the one that absorbs phosphorus and calcium. So I'll write it down, vitamin D. So phosphorus. So we can eliminate that answer too. Then fourth answer says vitamin K is necessary to maintain epithelial tissue. Again, maintaining epithelial tissue is a function of vitamin A, not vitamin K. So I'll write it down. Tissue. So the only function of vitamin K is blood clotting. So it has nothing to do with epithelial tissue. So again, it's the wrong answer. So we can eliminate that answer too. Then the fifth one, production of red blood cells is reduced due to vitamin C deficiency. So production of red blood cells is usually reduced by vitamin B deficiency, not vitamin C deficiency. So we can eliminate that answer too. So vitamin B, production of red blood cells, RBC. Then, so vitamin C, as I told earlier, it acts as an antioxidant. So the second one is the right answer. Vitamin A deficiency reduces immunity. Okay, so if you can please take a note of that, it is really important. So let's go to the next question.